Welcome to the Prophecy Club. Our topic today is the battle between light and darkness and how it is raging concerning this coronavirus. So primarily we're going to be talking about the coronavirus, and I'm going to be talking about it from a position of Bible prophecy, and I'm going to dare say that you probably have never seen it the way I'm about to put it. But again, we prophecy students enjoy the privilege of knowing the end of the book. We know how it's going to end, so consequently, we can be better at throwing away things that are not really accurate and also going after those things that are lining up with Bible prophecy. Before we get started, let me remind you that you can download the Prophecy Club app at your app store, the best and easiest way to either see or to listen to the Prophecy Club radio program. Yes, some of them are video, some of them are audio. This particular one, I just don't have the time to turn it into video, so it's going to be audio. Also, I want to say thank you. Yes, we did get the money to print the book. However, we also were just hit with some unexpected expenses concerning the crusade, like projector, praise and worship team, helpers, things like that. So if you could help, boy, that would be really good. We need probably about another $8,000 for that, as it is quite expensive to put on one of these big meetings. So if God has blessed you and you appreciate what we're trying to do at the Prophecy Club and you can help, boy, now would be a really good time. Okay, I'm going to start with a disclaimer because I'm going to be saying some pretty eyebrow-raising things in this broadcast. So my disclaimer is, I cannot guarantee anything in this broadcast is accurate. I'm quoting other sources which may or may not be accurate and also giving my opinions which may or may not be accurate. This is a discussion on the coronavirus in light of Bible prophecy. I'm a pastor, Bible prophecy teacher. I'm not a news source. I am doing the very best I can to bring you the truth in light of Bible prophecy. So we're going to start with the first statement is, I do not believe that this is the big bad virus that, yes, is to come. Why? Because it takes so long for the people to die. October 12th, I've told you this before, 2006, I had a dream. I was looking down on a plane, and there was a stairway. People were going up the stairway, getting onto this jet. And I heard a voice say, 2 men will get on a plane with the virus, and before the plane can land, everyone on board will be dead. And I said, what? And the voice corrected me and said, you weren't listening. And as I said before, my wife will tell you, that's right, he doesn't always listen. And I think she's accurate. I think I have a small attention deficit disorder. I just don't listen sometimes. I know that not everybody is that way, but I tend to be that way. Well, anyway, the voice said you weren't listening. And it repeated, 2 men will get on a plane with the virus, and before the plane can land, everyone on board will be dead. This will be the beginning of the end of public air transportation. Now, hang on to that thought. 11/22 of 2014, Augusto Perez had a dream. And he said it was explained to him that this virus is going to hit the United States, and it will spread like a pandemic. And yes, just a couple of days ago, they announced that this virus is a pandemic. But again, I do not think this is the one that the prophecies are talking about. Such a pandemic proportions that forced vaccinations will be forced upon the population, and they will contain a hidden RFID microchip. I don't think this is the really bad virus. I don't think this is one the prophecies are talking about. However, I do think that we are in one of the most vicious battles between light and darkness that at least I've seen in my 66 years on this earth. I mean, we are in a great big spiritual battle. This is part of it. If you're only counting on the best information coming from your 6 o'clock news or from normal news sources, then you aren't getting the very best news. One battle that is going on, very big, raging, is between Trump and the corrupt child sacrifice, sex trafficking, international bankers, Khazarian mafia, deep state, whatever you want to call them. The evil in high places who have operated on blackmail to control governments, businesses, and people in high places for about 300 years. They are in the process of being taken down. They know about the 151,002 sealed indictments. They know that whether they are guilty or whether they're not guilty of this corruption or child sacrifice or sex trafficking, you know if you've done something like that. And if you have, then you can probably be threatened by Trump. Understand that some 40,000 children disappear in the United States every year. Okay, this is not just fairy tale stuff. There's a lot of people being hurt by these people. And there is a spiritual battle, and that's the reason they hate Trump so much. A spiritual battle because these international bankers are fighting to stop Trump and to stop him from arresting them and trying them in military tribunals. And I believe that they are losing the battle. And I believe that this virus is like, well, the cat that is clinging on to the knot at the end of the rope. In other words, they are clinging on to the very last few tricks in their bag. They're using everything they possibly can to convince Trump not to do what he should do, as in arrest these guys. As a prophecy student, as a prophecy teacher, I believe that it's actually a created virus. So let's talk about that a second. Has anything new been created by God since the sixth day when it said on the seventh day he rested? Anything? The answer is no. We do not have any new species of animals, contrary to what the New Agers, contrary to what Darwin believed. We do not have any new fish. We do not have any new birds. We don't have any new humans. We don't. Now, there's various adaptations. In other words, like if you lift weights, your muscles get bigger. If you don't eat, you get skinny. Okay, there's certain things that our bodies do, and we understand that. But I'm talking about a whole new bird, a whole new animal, a whole new type of a human. There hasn't been any creation since God rested on the seventh day. That means there is no new virus. Did this virus come out of, they're saying, fish, or like the other one, in the deep, dark jungles of Africa? Or did it come out of bioengineering? So I actually looked this up. The definition of engineering is a scientific field and job that involves taking our scientific understanding of the natural world and using it to, here it is, to invent, design, and build things to solve problems and achieve practical goals. Remember that. This can include the development of roads, bridges, cars, planes, machines, tools, processes, computers, and I'm going to add viruses. Yeah. So this Wuhan virus that they want to call the coronavirus actually started, they say, at some kind of a fish market. I'm going to get to that in just a second. In China. Ask yourself this. If you're an international banker, you know you're guilty of child sacrifice, sex trafficking, corruption, blackmail. You're really a bad dude. And you know your name is probably on some indictment out there, and you're trying to get the people that are coming after you to stop. Who would you go after? Well, they went after Trump. That's exactly what the Russia, and the impeachment thing, and all of the bad press that's in all of the controlled media, they have gone after him, but they haven't been able to stop him. So who's second in line? And that would be Russia, but they probably can't go after Russia. That would be China. So it is my assumption, again, I can't prove this, but I believe that what is actually going on with this virus, this is the deep state, that has pulled one of their engineered viruses where they cut and paste and sew things together, and they create a new virus, because there's nothing new under the sun, is what the Bible says. That which was is that which shall be. Either you believe the Bible or you don't. That means that there is no such thing as a new virus. Okay, so that means it was an old virus or a cut and chop sew together virus. I believe it was the latter. But why did they release it in China? And why did they release it just outside of Wuhan? I looked up Wuhan, biomedical, bioengineering. Here's what I found. Actually, Wuhan is kind of a hubbub for bioengineering. I found 4 companies, and I didn't even have to look through all of them. Wuhan Biomedical Engineering, Wuhan Bioengineering Institute, Wuhan Institute of Bioengineering, and there was more. In other words, Wuhan is kind of like the Center for Biological Engineering. What does that mean? Now, Chinese, they say, oh, no, we're not doing any biowarfare. Well, wait a minute. What does the word engineering mean? It means that we're cutting from this and sewing onto that, and we're creating something new. So, yeah, they do. But however, my suggestion, I'm going to say that I don't think that the virus was released by China. I don't even think that it was actually created by China. I think it was created by the deep state someplace and released just outside of Wuhan to blame it on the Chinese to give them a problem. Why? Because this, my brothers and sisters, is a shot across the bow. This is a threat. This is the international bankers saying to China, don't arrest us. Don't kick us out of power, because that's what's in the process of happening. You don't have to look long to begin to find what I'm about to read here. This comes to us from OutlookIndia.com. Headline: Coronavirus may have origins in China's biological warfare lab in Wuhan. Now, the article goes on to say, here's a lot of various reasons why we think it may have come from this. And I'm going to skip down. I'm just going to read the parts I've highlighted here. It says, Gao Fu, director of the Chinese Center of Disease Control and Prevention, told state-controlled media that initial signs as of Thursday indicated, here it is, the virus originated from wild animals sold at seafood market in Wuhan. Well, you got to blame it on somebody. So then I actually looked up, okay, so what was the start of this virus? Well, I found this headline. On January 30, 2020, the International Health Regulations Emergency Committee of the World Health Organization declared the outbreak. So, according to WHO, it started January 30, 2020. Now, I'm going to skip several more paragraphs that I was thinking I'd probably read, but I don't think I have to. But these are important. So it says, ask if the new coronavirus may have leaked, Shalom said. In principle, outward virus infiltration might take place either as a leakage or as an indoor, unnoticed infection of a person that normally went out of the concerned facility. This could have been a case with the Wuhan Institute of Virology, but so far there isn't evidence or indication for such an incident. And I'm going to tell you right now, they're not going to find out who made the virus. They're not going to find out who released it, because we sort of, if we understand what's going on, and we prophecy students do, we understand we're going to world government. We understand that they're trying to remove a bunch of bad people from high places. And so, no, they're not going to release it. But there's probably some people someplace out there that do know the truth. And, of course, the Bible says that when Jesus returns on the Feast of Trumpets, the last one, that's when everything hidden will be open and made manifest. Everything done in secret will be shouted from the rooftops. So I assume we get to see a replay of all of this. That is everything except for those things that are washed in the blood or covered by the garments. But I've got two more sentences I want to read here. It goes on to say the biosafety lab is located 20 miles from the human seafood market that reports from China say may have been the origin point of the virus. Rutgers University microbiologist, and it gives the name here, says at this point, there's no reason to harbor suspicions that the lab may have linked to the virus outbreak. Okay, so in my opinion, I don't think it was the Chinese. In my opinion, I think it was the deep state. And I think they were sending a shot across the bow saying, if you arrest us, if you do this, if you take us out of power, if you take us out from controlling the world finances, then this is only a small sample of what we're going to do. And that probably includes the next really, really bad virus that will kill someone in under an hour. That would explain when people get on a plane, but before the plane can land, everyone on board is dead. That's not the coronavirus. That's some other future virus that we haven't seen yet. Now, I cannot prove this, but I believe the virus was probably created by the deep state, released in China to threaten them. And they're saying to China, we have worse viruses, and we also have the suitcase nukes that we know is written in prophecy. We have a lot of things, including wars. Okay, so and you may be saying, are these people that evil? Yes. Yes. See, I think what the deep state is saying to China is stop the investigations, and also to Trump, because he's the primary guy behind it. Stop the investigations, or we will kill even more innocent people. Remember, Lindsey Williams sat in the boardrooms of the elite of the world for 3.5 years. And he said absolutely positively there is a group of people above president who run the world. He said, I know because I ate with them, I was in meetings with them, and I got to know them. And I know that there are people that rule the world. Well, this is who Donald Trump is fighting. The message that the corrupt individuals in the deep state is sending the good guys, which in this case is Donald Trump indirectly or China specifically indirectly, which surprisingly is represented in a large portion of certain Chinese in high places. What? The Chinese are the good guys? Yeah, they are. At least this is what I'm about to read from this article here from finalwakeupcall.info says that the Chinese are some of the good guys that are trying to remove the bad guys from our financial system. And it's primarily about the financial system, but you see, their God is the god of Moloch, or the god of Baal. In other words, child sacrifice. And they still do it today. It's the same people, same God doing the same thing. Child sacrifice, sex trafficking, all sorts of filthy, filthy stuff that the average Christian, we can't exactly wrap our brain around that kind of filth, that kind of evil. So consequently, and they use that to their advantage because they think, oh, the Christians will never think that we're doing this. Oh, yes, because our Bible says that you're doing it. Okay, so anyway, probably this virus was man-created using gene splicing, trying to threaten those who would arrest them and take away their power. In my opinion, the virus is spread more by the news than by the people, meaning the problem is more with the corrupt media that is fighting against Trump than the virus itself. Well, look at the virus. Okay, they're saying that more people die from the flu every year than the virus. Now, I'm not trying to take away from the virus. Yes, it's bad, and I'm certainly sad to see people get sick, and especially to die from it, and may God be with the families that are suffering over this. But this is what evil people do. Satan is the accuser of the brethren. That's what he does. He stands before God day and night, and he accuses the brethren. And part of that accusation is exactly what we see here, where they put innocent people between the good guys and the bad guys. You see, right now, this is what most of the news reports, that there's really no children getting sick from this, no healthy people, only the sick, the elderly, and only those with underlying health problems. Matter of fact, they've said on the news several times, again, I'm not a news source, but several times I've heard them say that the average people that are dying from the coronavirus have the age in the ballpark of 80 years old. Again, it's not a new virus. It is a gene-spliced, a man-created virus. They knew what it would do before they released it. And I think that this is not the bad virus. This is a shot across the bow. Okay, so now let's go on to what's really happening. And I've read this before. This is very important. If there's anything to memorize, this comes pretty close to memorizing. So what's going on? Headline, QFS Off-World Monetary System. Intro of Quantum Financial System and Global Currency Reset. This comes to us from finalwakeupcall.info. It says QFS ends corrupt cabal central banking. You want to know what's going on with the virus? That's what's going on with the virus. Let me read that again. QFS, in other words, the Quantum Financial System, which is a quantum financial computer that is tracking and monitoring every piece of currency on the globe. This is what he says, and has been for, based upon the date of this, getting pretty close to 2 years now. What are they doing? They're removing the old cabal, the old corrupt cabal, the SWIFT system. This is what he's going to say here, as I'll read this in a second. They're removing it. Well, these people, the deep state, the international bankers, Khazarian mafia, whatever you want to call them, they don't like it. I mean, who wants to have their gravy train cut off? They don't. And so they're screaming bloody murder. They are, as down in Texas we say, they're screaming like a pig caught under a gate. Okay, they are really, really mad, and they are threatening. And that's what Benjamin Fulford said in his article I read a few days ago. He said that this is what's really going on with the virus. The virus is not from God. It's gene spliced by man, released by man, released in China, just outside the Wuhan area, because everybody knows that's a biowarfare area. And so they're trying to pin it on the Chinese. Well, what's really happening is they're really saying to the world, if you arrest us, it's going to get a lot worse. Well, I believe that's where the suitcase nukes come from. But let's finish the article. Back to the headline, QFS Off-World Monetary System. The QFS system will cover the new global network for the transfer of gold or asset-backed money, initiated, here it is, by Russia and China. That's the reason they're coming after China. That's the reason right there. because the global bankers don't want to be taken out of their global banker positions. They certainly don't want to be arrested, and they certainly don't want to be tried in military tribunals where there's no foolishness, and their rich lawyers are going to get them off, and instead they're releasing a virus. That's what's really going on. Initiated by Russia, China to replace the U.S. centrally controlled SWIFT system. This new quantum financial system, now you remember, the difference between a human computer and a quantum computer is this. If you open up your garden hose to full force, that's the comparison to the fastest human computer. Compare that to the Niagara Falls, the amount of water going over there, and that's the difference between a human computer, the fastest one, and a quantum computer. Anyway, let's go on. So this quantum financial system runs on a quantum computer based on orbiting satellites, and is protected by secret space programs to ensure it cannot be hacked. The quantum technology was provided by, listen to this, benevolent extraterrestrial galactics, aliens, or what we call demons or devils. God did not give us a computer. Angels did not give us a computer. Rest assured, I think it will start out to be good, just like Hollywood movies originally started out to be good, and music originally started out to be good, and now the devil's taken over all of them. And I think the same thing is about to happen with all of this. What we're watching is the evil, the darkness, fighting against the light. When you see the coronavirus, understand that that's really the darkness fighting against the light. Let me go on. The purpose of the new financial system is to put an end to cabal corruption, usury, and manipulation within the banking world. Well, that's a good thing. The key is to implement limitations that will prevent corrupted banksters from gaining significant profits. The QFS is completely independent of the existing centralized system, making all other previous transfer systems unnecessary. Well, what's it really all about? Well, the Bible says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead, and that no one might buy or sell save he had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. What's he talking about? He's talking about no one's going to be able to buy or sell. You got to have your cell phone. This is part of what I have in my Miss the Mark book. Your cell phone is what is going to link you to the QFS satellite financial system. It's 100% accurate. I'm not getting into that subject today, but I've covered it other times. Get the book, Miss the Mark. I mean, all of the comments coming in from that book are, everybody really thinks it's wonderful. Just really, really a great book. But anyway, back to the subject. Let me get back to this. So with the activation of the QFS, the Galactic Alliance will completely destroy the central banking system. That is what's happening with the virus. The international bankers released this against China because China is one of the primary good guys that is removing them from their financial power. And this is the deep state saying, if you arrest us, if you move us out of this, here's what's going to happen. You think this virus is bad, you just wait. And I think that's the guys that is crashing the stock market. That's the guys you can't even turn on the news. You don't have anything on TV except for the coronavirus every place. Well, why? Who controls that? Well, it's not Russia. It's not China. It's the deep state, my friends. The deep state is what's bringing the virus out. Again, there's more virus in TV than there is in veins. The little-known truth is the QFS has been running parallel to the central banking system for many months, if not more than a year. And of course, this is 6 months old, and has countered many hacking attempts to steal funds by the cabal. The result being that many bankers have been caught red-handed with illegal money transfers and have consequently been arrested. Well, we happen to know that there's a lot more arrests coming. Matter of fact, maybe you heard this. This comes to us, headline says, Feds arrest over 600 alleged Mexican cartel members. And this happened because President Trump signed an executive order after he was inaugurated back in 2017, giving them the authority and also asking them to go out and file, in this case, 350 indictments, got 600 people arrested. But that's not our indictments. That's not what we're talking about. This is the DOJ and the DEA, and that's not who is doing the 151,000 indictments, which, by the way, I got that confirmed. But anyway, the point is the broadcast. I don't think that this is the big bad virus. I don't think this is the virus going to shut down public transportation, although they're certainly trying to. I don't think that this virus is going to be the one that'll spread all across America, and they're going to require vaccination with an RFID chip, a little chip inside the virus. I don't think that's going to be part. I think it's coming. It's what the prophecies say, but I don't think it's right now. But I do think what we're going to see is more battles in the spirit. I mean, just like the Russia thing, and then the impeachment thing. And by the way, did you notice that they waited until after the impeachment thing was over? And I was just wondering, okay, so what's the next thing? What's the next attack? And I'd have to look it up, but I think the impeachment thing was only over a week or two before the next attack came, and that was the coronavirus. And if we solve the coronavirus, you watch, there'll be another attack, and it's not going to end, I'd like to be able to say, until the bad guys are arrested. But that's not true. It's actually not going to end until the Feast of Trumpets when Jesus returns. And that is a whole lot closer than what we really want to think about. All right, now let me jump to a couple of things here. First of all, I suggest you get my book, my new book, Miss the Mark, and also Secret Door to Understand Bible Prophecy. So here's my 2 questions I like to ask. First question is, what would you do if you had to tell someone the most important information in the world, but you knew they wouldn't believe you? Well, I believe most people listening would still tell them. Okay, so what's the most important thing in the world? The most important thing in the world to do is to accept Jesus. The most important thing in the world is not to do is don't take the mark of the beast, because the Bible says, the smoke of their torment ascendeth up day and night, and they have no rest, day or night, who worship the beast and his image, or whosoever receiveth the number of his name. Meaning, you take that mark of the beast, you don't get soul death, you are tormented with the beast, the false prophet, and Lucifer for all eternity with no hope of escape. That's why you want to get this book, and you want to get this into the hands of as many people as possible. 1 for $20, but don't do that. We're offering them in shrink-wrap sets of 10. Why? Because we want you to give them away. So you get 10 books for $30, 20 for $45, 40 books for $70. And yes, we know that that's near printing prices, again, because a soul in hell tormented for all eternity is what we're trying to prevent. And I need your help to prevent it. Next thing is, I want you to get my first book, Secret Door to Understand Bible Prophecy. See, Revelation is not written in chronological order. Been a lot of arguments over it. Well, this goes there. No, this goes there. No, this is first. No, this is third. No, this is second. There are a lot of arguments. Well, what my book does is it links the feasts to the prophecies of Revelation, and for the first time, it puts Revelation in the correct chronological order. You can get both books at prophecyclub.com. Prophecyclub.com. Next thing I want you to do is go to sevenfoldmiraclecrusades.com. We're having a crusade, and the primary purpose of this is to get people ready for the great move of God that is about to hit the earth. I personally believe it's going to hit in the next year or so, and it may even hit in the next few weeks or so, especially in light of this whole virus whole deal here. But anyway, God has called me to raise up an end-time army of prophecy teachers working miracles. This Sevenfold Miracle Crusade, this one, is for training to get you to be able to walk in sevenfold miracles and to be able to teach Bible prophecy. And you go to sevenfoldmiraclecrusades.com. It'll tell you all about it. Get all signed up for it, as we are only, 3 weeks away from it now? sevenfoldmiraclecrusades.com. sevenfoldmiraclecrusades.com. Emergency food is almost sold out everywhere, but with our relationship with heavensharvest.com, they've made an entire truckload available to Prophecy Club. They have all sorts of emergency supplies and food at heavensharvest.com. Their food comes in square stackable buckets, breakfast, entree, protein, fruits, and vegetables at heavensharvest.com makes it easy to order. I recommend you have at least 12 months of food for every person in your family. Receive a free box of heirloom seeds when you enter the promo code STAN. That's heavensharvest.com, promo code STAN for emergency supplies and food at heavensharvest.com.